Oh, I didn't forget. We have to talk about the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Dubai. I know my last recap was late, so it feels like you're getting back to back recaps of The Real Housewives of Dubai. But I have to give them their credit, especially to post production and how they edited this particular episode. It's almost impossible to get to everyone's storyline or connect everyone's storyline, but I feel like they did that in this last episode, in the sixth episode of The Real Housewives of Dubai. And we even got the mid season trailer for the rest of the season. I have to say, the trailer got me. I was like, okay, I see what's happening. I'm interested. I'm invested. And I've seen a lot of the comments. I have to say, this season more than the first season, because the first season I felt like a lot of people were like, oh, it's boring, it's boring, it's boring. Or you like, particular people. I have to say, this season, a lot of you are saying that you're comparing it to Miami. And honestly, the ratings in regards to Miami, and I always say this to you guys, just because a show doesn't necessarily rate well doesn't mean that it's not quality. And I think this season, Dubai is giving you the fabulosity that a lot of you want. It's a completely different, world when you think about it. And I think the other element, and I mentioned this in the last video, I like the culture that we're getting from this, the different culture that we're getting from this, and it's coming in a variety of ways. And I really do enjoy that, and I really do enjoy the fact that the people that aren't necessarily of that culture respect it or understand it. And we're going to talk about a little bit of that in this recap of this week's episode. We're going to talk about Brooks and Talene and their back and forth on social media. I'm not going to highlight the things that they've been saying on social media because I much rather focus on the actual episode. And as you could tell, I am in Nashville. I'm in Nashville. Are you coming? Are you coming to the show tonight? Go get your tickets. And again, shout out to 92Q here in Nashville for having me yesterday morning be a part of their morning show, the Kevin Smooth morning show. First time ever. I just realized, like, this is my first time ever doing national radio. So, and here in Nashville. So shout out to them for allowing me to be there. Go check out the YouTube video. I posted in our community tab. Go leave it a comment. Let them know that you guys, the Elephant Gang, is here, and give them a like. All that stuff. All that stuff matters. But I appreciate them sharing their platform because I had, being on radio here in Nashville, I didn't realize how important, how critical that is. So, and I really loved the group at the morning show. So that was really fun. So if you missed it, be sure to check that out. Yeah, I'm wearing the same sweater. Mind your business. Let's get into the Real Housewives of Dubai. I'm tired of y'all making fun of my sweater. Okay, bye.
Baby, baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor. I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer, just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. Ooh, you bring the lighter. I got the fuse. You make a fire. I'll add the fuel. Follow my lady. Just watch the shoes. Gotta turn the heat up. Get this cool.
And let me make sure that everything is working first, because the last time I did this recap, I had to do it again because the audio was terrible. But I'm streaming from a different platform right now, but I wanted to make sure that the audio was good. But because I checked that the audio was good, have you liked the video yet? Have you subscribed? Have you shared the video? Have you subscribed to the Kempire podcast? Because an audio version along with special episodes are available there. As when you're there, give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And again, if you're in Nashville or Atlanta, come to our Kempire After Dark live experience happening tonight here in Nashville and then tomorrow in Atlanta. I am on a very busy week. I cannot wait to just unwind and not do anything. But it's okay. It's okay. I appreciate everyone that has come out to some of our past cities and that will be coming to these next couple of dates. We appreciate you guys as well. Shout out to our channel members, shout out to our subscribers, and of course, shout out to our King's Guards in the live chat. We appreciate them being here for our Real Housewives of Dubai recap. All right, let's get into this episode because we start off where we ended last week, and that was with Talene, that was with Talene and Brooks going back and forth. And Talene strongly believes that Brooks is a pot stirrer because she retells what happened recently with the whole Stanbury and Lisa and what happened at the dinner and Talene pulling Stanbury to the side and the issues between Lisa and Talene. Look, do I think that Brooks is stirring the pot? Yes. Do I think that Talene might have thrown Brooks under the bus so that she could be up under Stanbury? I know a lot of people want to run with that narrative, particularly Brooks. At least it doesn't feel that way based off the edit. I don't know if what played out outside of this could be something else. But Brooks, you make it hard. You make it hard for the audience, and you make it probably hard for Talene to have your back and to be a loyal friend to you, because I know you like to claim that you're a loyal friend. I don't know how loyal. I feel like you go with the breeze, especially like 1 minute you're best friends with this one, next minute you're best friends with this one. I wouldn't be surprised if next season you're fighting with Sara. I mean, you fought with Sara in season 1. Now all of a sudden you guys are holding hands on the beach, frolicking. But I will appreciate that Talene points out in this scene that Brooks will shift the whole situation, because this is literally what Brooks does. She's like, I wanna talk to Lisa and Sara, and she pulls them away to stir the pot between Sara and Lisa. But before we even get into that, we have Sara and Stanbury get into it. Here's the thing. Sara sees Stanbury for who she really is, because remember last season, Sara was one of the minions, and this is exactly what Lisa points out. She's like, Stanbury is upset that the minions are not following her lead anymore. Okay, so Stanbury, you and the way that you were coming at Sara, I don't know if you were tipsy or I don't know what you were doing. It just felt like you were doing too much. It felt performative, and there have been a couple of times, and it's not just Stanbury. There've been a few housewives through these first 6 episodes that some of these scenes, some of these fights felt pre-produced, felt forced, especially because you guys aren't that great of actresses. But I was getting either Stanbury was drunk or that Stanbury was being performative and just wanted to have some sort of fight, or was really annoyed that Sara was not following her lead. And I will say this though, Sara, you constantly defending Brooks, who sometimes is just, I don't know. God bless you for trying to defend Brooks, because Brooks is hard to defend, okay? But God bless you for trying. And I'm so thankful that Lisa reminded us, because she gave us this moment last season when she said, we all know that Sara is a walking Instagram meme. I think I think Sara really believes the things that she says and does. I do believe that she is the spiritual person. It's not that I don't believe that. I just think that there's more to Sara. I also think that Sara's not necessarily giving us everything. But I can appreciate Sara in this moment. Look how I shifted this season. But look, I'm like Brooks. I shift with the wind. You know what? I don't shift. You know what it is? I take it for what it is. Entertainment. I take it season by season. Like this season, I think I've probably been pretty nice to Stanbury, because honestly, it's not that deep for me. Some of the, like when you look at the Real Housewives of New Jersey fans, even the Atlanta fans recently with the whole Kenya Moore situation, the way that you guys will do the most in defense of people you don't know, it's actually kind of scary. It's disturbing, especially when you find out these people are grown. And I'm talking about both the Real Housewives of New Jersey and Atlanta, the Kenya Moore fans. And that's the thing. I think people believe that you cannot be a fan of someone and call them out when you think that they're wrong, or can't be able to be objective. This is what I love about our community, because I remember when covering the Kenya Moore story, like, I'm a fan of Kenya Moore, but if she did what they said that she did, that is just disturbing and that is just disgusting. But I didn't mean to make this about Real Housewives of Atlanta, but it's still in regards to Real Housewives and how I see people defend people that don't they will. I know they're in your DMs and they're making it seem like they care about you, but these housewives don't. They're using you for whatever they can do and for whatever they can. What's the word? Whatever narrative that they want out there. Please understand, and please, housewives, please understand. I know. So if I respond to you and I'm kind to you and I'm like I'm a kind person, but you ain't gonna use me to spread your narrative. Just saying. And we've talked about this before about housewives doing that. We've seen this in New Jersey. We've seen it with Atlanta. Look, we've seen it with a bunch of people because they know how people that commentate or review these shows can influence the fans. I'm not trying to influence the fans. I'm just telling you what I think in regards to what I'm watching. But I always remind you guys, you're watching an edited show. So no matter how I'm watching an edited show, unless I've had a personal experience with any of these Bravo celebrities or reality TV stars or celebrities, unless I've had a personal experience, I really don't take it that deeply. Like my personal experience with Caroline Stanbury's makeup artist, I'm not really holding that against Caroline Stanbury. I'll make a joke or two, especially those confessional looks Stanbury, especially this new one this week. Ooh, was Maria behind that one? um, but like you know what I mean. Like I'm not really holding that against Stanbury unless I really felt like Stanbury was behind it. Do I think that she was behind it? That's a whole other story. We're not going to even go. We're not going to delve back into the past. Okay, we're going to focus on the future. Okay. I'm having a hot chocolate. It's not coffee. Anyways, so Lisa makes she brings Brooks is the one who stirred the pot and brought Lisa over. Oh, I wanted to mention the whole situation that Sara had talked about Lisa and Ayan had brought it to Lisa's attention. I felt like this was a reach. I felt like they were trying to make a moment of something that I look, and I'm not trying to defend Sara, but I didn't think Sara bringing up Lisa and Lisa's reaction to Talene as her saying or talking nasty about Lisa's relationship at home, and then they resolved it at the table. But I did understand why Ayan was uncomfortable. I think Ayan felt like she was in a position like I don't want to be out here talking about my friend and she's not here. I understand why she was uncomfortable, but I also don't think that Sara was being vicious in regards to what she was saying. But we see what you were doing, Brooks. Brooks wanted to divert the entire conversation from her beef with Talene because I think on some level, I think Brooks likes fighting with people. Is that a Leo trait? I think she likes fighting with people. And I think she's been fighting with Talene ever since then. Because I remember at BravoCon that they were still fighting. Like they have not made peace after being friends for so long. You see what we saw in this episode with Talene and Stanbury having that night out and they were having fun and she was falling into the bushes and things like that. That's what I really wanted from Talene and Brooks. Because I feel like, oh, this, years of friendship and I think that would have been a lot more fun to watch than Brooks trying to make an issue out of a non-issue. A non-issue. Do we think that they could get back to being good friends? Who knows? Who knows? But the situation with Lisa and Sara, I felt like that was a reach. I don't feel like there was a real issue going on there. I don't feel like Sara had malice, but Lisa's just like, I don't even think Lisa took it that serious because even the grin on Lisa's face, it was sort of like, I don't think she's that mad at Sara because you know when Lisa's really mad. You know when Lisa's really mad, right, Lisa? Anyways, Lisa and Ayan. Speaking of Lisa. So Lisa and Ayan have this scene together, and they talk about what's going on with Brooks and Talene. It looks like they're leaning more towards Brooks in the conversation, and they feel like Talene is just sort of like threw Brooks away for Stanbury. And Ayan doubles down on what she felt like Sara was saying in that moment. She felt like Sara was being a little shady about what she was saying. Again, I don't think that she was, but who knows? I'm not in that position. And again, we don't know what else was said. We only saw a portion. Because can you imagine if we had saw more? It could have been something shady that Sara said. I'm not saying that she did, but you just never know. Again, you're watching an edited show. So Lisa says that whole situation with Sarah actually triggered her because she does feel like she's being, not the best wife. Because Rich said to her, You're always too tired to have sex." Well, she's got three young boys, a business that she's running. I mean, this is not surprising to me. This is not surprising to me. But this happens in every relationship. And I saw a lot of people on social media based off of this edited scene. But even if it wasn't edited, I didn't get that there was a problem in Lisa's relationship. I see a lot, and I've seen Lisa responding to people like, "No, like we're good," but being together and having three young kids and trying to run a business, he's busy, and her mother instilling in her, you should have a backup plan, especially after what happened with her mom and her dad. To me, I didn't get, "Oh my God, we should be worried about Lisa's relationship." I did worry based off the trailer for the season at a few weeks ago, that I was like, "Oh, what's going on there?" However, after watching the scene, I can see her being emotional and being overwhelmed. Ayan, she's like, "I speak to you all the time. You're overwhelmed. Like, I'm worried for you." You could see multiple moments in this episode, at the top of this episode, where these two are really trying to have each other's back. Lisa, even in the conversation with Sara, she was just like, "If Ayan said you said this in a way, I'm gonna believe my best friend." It's so sad because then we know what's coming later in the season. But it is what it is. But I have to say, the best part of the scene for me was Ayan, because she's like, "You need to give your mind a break." She's like, "I give my mental is always on break because I don't do too much." Ayan, you are ridiculous, but I appreciate you so freaking much because I wasn't ready for it. Like, that's the thing about Ayan. She'll come out of left field because you're not expecting it. We're having this emotional moment. She's crying, you're crying, da da da. And all of a sudden, she's like, "You have to give yourself a break." She's like, "My mental is always on break because I don't do too much." We know Ayan way out. I appreciate that. I appreciate that she owns it. I appreciate these lighter moments that she brings to every scene. Okay. All right. But you were stirring the pot this season. I've seen it multiple times, Ayan, that you've been instigating stuff. Even in that first scene, you were instigating stuff. We're watching you, Ayan. I mean, it's not malicious. It's not giving Lisa Renna, or it's honestly, it's not even giving Brooks. Brooks stirs the pot, but I feel like Brooks is malicious, like in a bad way. Yep, I said it, Brooks. Okay. Stanbury and Sergio are with his family, and Stanbury is just so happy that the family is there. She's not trying to be around them. She's just not used to it. I think it's a tourist thing. It's not just her being British and the way she grew up. I think it's also a tourist thing. Like, yeah, we love y'all and we're loyal, but all this social stuff she's not into. All right. But she likes them. She does like them. So Sergio's she's going for a spa day, and he's like, "I can go." No, you can't go, Sergio. I don't get this relationship. I see Stanbury getting very bored with this. I'm surprised she's lasted this long. But maybe she just wanted something different. She had a very different marriage before. So maybe she wanted something different with this one. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't like it for her. But anyway, so Sergio has a conversation with his family, his sister and his mom. I thought the mom saying, first of all, the mom was giving him advice and saying, "You need to find common ground here. You have to allow her to be herself." But then she also mentions that she doesn't believe that Stanbury, she can't see Stanbury with the baby. And Sergio's like, "What?" So the fact that his mother is saying this, I'm like, Sergio. And I know in the trailer we see, "Oh, you're going to have a boy." I don't believe that these two are going to have children. And if Stanbury has a child, it's not going to be with Sergio. And Sergio, look, I'm not one to say a man has to act a certain way. I don't believe that. But what I do believe, if you're going to be someone's partner, male or female, there's a level of maturity that has to be there. You don't have it. The constant wanting to be in everything and part of everything, it's giving thirsty, first of all, you being on the show. It's been giving that since season 1. But I also don't feel like you're an equal partner in this relationship. It feels like you're one of the kids. We'll get back to that. But he gets emotional because the mom's like, "I don't see Stanbury having a child." I don't see that she wants that. But Sergio says that he needs a baby, and that's the only piece missing. That's a very important piece. Do you really think that he wants a child? He is a child. And that might be part of her reason, besides the fact that she's probably not ready to have any more children. Um, I just don't think she's motivated to have children with him. That's me. So, Ayan at home. Hey, Taj. I love her son. He doesn't get into the mix. He's a normal kid, smart kid. Also with Yasmin. I want to see Yasmin and Taj hang out and have a good time because I believe that they are friendly. The kids are friendly. Like they're a different age bracket versus the younger kids that we see at the end of this episode with Brooks and Lisa and Sara. All right. So Ayan's at home and she has this really beautiful conversation. I completely did not remember because Ayan has a few siblings. First of all, Ayan, your family is gorgeous. Like you're beautiful, but when I see like your brother and I see if Ifra, I'm like, it's a gorgeous family. And I love hearing you speak your native tongue. I love seeing her, talk about her sister. She says, if Ifra is the love of my life. And then she recalls the FGM that they both went through. I didn't realize it was both her and Ifra that went through this. And she says they've always had this bond. And her Ifra always checks in on her. She tells Ifra everything that's going on with Taj. And if she's having a fight with Chris, I can't imagine you having a fight with Chris. I've met Chris at BravoCon. Chris is a lovely man. A lovely man. I think he's probably the only husband of the housewives that I've met. No, that's not true. I mean, that I've had a conversation with. I've met some of the other house husbands from like Atlanta, but not had a conversation or Potomac. I've not had a conversation. I've had a conversation with Chris. I like Chris. Okay. And like Ayan has some good people around her. I've met Tony, Tony Malt. Lovely, love Tony. Good and like they both have really good energy. I'm big on energy. If I feel like you have a dark spirit, I don't want to be around you. Just saying. Okay. But Ifra and Ayan get emotional and talk like it's emotional, it's funny. At one point they're talking about some sort of like seasoning or thing from Africa. She's like, I can't bring that into Dubai. They're going to think it's Coke. And then Ayan's like, no, you must bring it. I want some of that, So, I love this scene. I love the fact that we're incorporating so much from each of the ladies in this episode. This was such an inclusive episode. I love the scene. I love the emotion of why she loves Ifra to Ifra talking about how much she loves Ayan. And we're going to see more of Ifra later in the season because you saw in this episode, Ayan is going to go pick Ifra up from the airport. I like that. Brooks brings her mom. I've met Brooks's mom. I feel connected to this cast because I've met quite a few of the family. Like Brooks's family actually watches our reviews. And I have to say, I met two of her brothers. I met her mom multiple times. So seeing her mom in Dubai, her mom is very reserved. And I know some people, as someone that has a Caribbean mother, that's probably how she would be. And I think that doesn't necessarily translate well on television. And I think some people might be like, I don't know. Like, I get it because I've met her mom. So I know her mom is very sweet, unlike Brooks. See, I love I can play with Brooks like this. Like, I don't know if any of you other bloggers can play with Brooks like this because Brooks might get mad at me, but like, I don't care. She'll forgive me. She'll forgive me. I think Brooks, no matter how you feel about Brooks, villain or whatever, villain, victim, whatever, martyr, I can appreciate her on the show. So first of all, I can appreciate the glass house. The spa is spa-ing. It's a gorgeous space. I don't think we've really taken time to talk about how gorgeous this space is. It's kind of empty. I mean, it is. But maybe because it's so big, it just feels empty. So she brings both her mom and Adam to the glass house to show her mom the glass house. Her mom comes there every single year. We learned a little bit more about Brooks and how she grew up. And she's talking about the challenges of raising Adam and, building this business. I see that Brooks has been posting about a bunch of other things that she's working on as well. She's keeping busy. She's keeping busy and she's taking care of everything when it comes to Adam financially. But she's concerned because she's like, oh, Adam is, growing up as a single child and she doesn't know because he's acting very different. He's becoming he's like a tween. I'm not surprised by this. And I can see Brooks being a Leo. They're sensitive. Leos can be sensitive. Being not worshipped by her child or being connected to her child, I can see how that might make her feel away. But her mom's like, you were like this too. Don't worry about it. He will come around. He will come around. I think he will come around. But she's probably also worried about him being closer to Zion. Zara? I don't remember. It's unimportant. Her ex-husband. So they talk a little bit about that. She's just like, he's so different. He's ordering Earl's Grey tea and doesn't know how to drink tea. Anyway, so they're talking about his birthday party that she's planning for him. And he mentions like, you're never home. You come home late at night. And look, there's a lot of women that can relate to this situation that Brooks is going through as a working single mom. All right. And she also, and look, she don't even have a personal life. We don't even see her personal life. She's too busy trying to, build this business. All right. Guys, have you liked the video yet? Did you know you can take us on the go by downloading the Kempire podcast on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify? Head on over to the description for more details on that and details on tonight's show here in Nashville. Go get your tickets today. Or if you're going to be in Atlanta, come to our Atlanta show. I'll be at City Winery, both venues. Excuse me, too much of this. I swear it's hot chocolate. I'll be at City Winery in Nashville and then City Winery. I like Nashville, y'all. I've had a good time here in Nashville. Good food, great service. Like the people that serve you here in Nashville are amazing. I get why people love Nashville. I had an Uber driver tell me, like, oh my God, mind you, this Uber driver was from Brooklyn. And he's just like, oh, I love it here. It's great cost of living, just great people, great food. I see it. Am I going to move? No, because I'm already moving somewhere already. Maybe after my lease is up. Okay, I'm moving somewhere else. Okay. Anyway, stay tuned for that. A lot of you have been asking me to do a virtual housewarming. Stay tuned. I got to first move. All right. And again, tips and tricks. Share in the comment section. All right. Moving on. Sara at home with my favorite, Mackie and Akin. So Akin is leaving. Mackie, I don't know. Why did we get multiple scenes with Mackie twerking? This kid is like never changed. Sara, I know you're encouraging him to let his, and I say this with the most love, let his freak fly. His just differentness. I love that he feels like he could just say and do whatever, and he's not shamed about it. His mom is not like, well, I guess she does tell him to stop twerking, but I don't feel like she's like, stop twerking, like in a nasty way. But he's like, I'm going for the world record of twerking. I love this kid. And I'm so glad that this season they're giving us so many scenes with him and Sara, because I feel like those scenes are far more interesting to me than scenes with Sara and Akin. All right. So, but they do talk about their future. And she talks about how her mom and father's relationship was very different. Her father paid for everything. So this is, again, the cultural aspect that we're learning about, Arabs and things like that. So she talks about that. And she talks about how she used to take care of the men in her life in the past, which is, I'm actually surprised by that. But maybe because I don't know, she was married to another Arab, I think. But she talks more about her relationship with Akin. And she's like, what is this? And Akin's like, I want an exclusive relationship. And she's like, in Arab culture, if you're dating, then you're dating to get married. So, but word on the street, they're not together anymore. And based off the trailer, I think we all can see that this is not going to go anywhere. Here's the thing with Akin. Yes, he's a beautiful giraffe man, okay? But I don't see any depth. Look, I love beautiful things too. But I've learned in life, and Sara, I'm sure you have as well, but maybe this is what you're still working on spiritually. It's, yes, you can get an attractive man, but we need an attractive man with depth. When I look at Akin, I see nothing. It's like nothing is there. Nothing is there. The conversation is not there. I love a beautiful thing, but if you can't give me stimulation in my brain, this is not going to work. But okay. My favorite scene was Yasmin giving it to Stanbury. So Yasmin, Stanbury's daughter, and her have a conversation, and Yasmin, you may recall, told Ayan she doesn't want her mom to have another kid with Sergio. But we learned a little bit more about Yasmin's relationship with Sergio, and we have to remember, and she mentions this in this, the scene. Stanbury says her relationship with Sergio happened over the pandemic, so he got stuck there during lockdown. And Yasmin feels like she feels like Stanbury prioritizes um, him over her kids, and she hates it when Sergio tries to step in and act like he's her father. Yasmin is not the one. We know her mouth is slick, but she gets emotional, and I can appreciate Stanbury because of the way that Stanbury grew up. I think her reaction would have been a little bit different, more like what I don't think she could have been this emotional with her own parents. But I appreciate that Yasmin felt like she could be emotional, and she feels like Stanbury is always sticking up for Sergio. She also mentions that she doesn't like the way that Sergio speaks to her. That made me go, so what is Sergio saying to you? But we've seen how Sergio spoke to Stanbury. So, but Stanbury says that sometimes the things that Yasmin says to Sergio, like "you're not my father," you know what step kids say to the step parents, okay, kind of thing. So she gets really emotional. I look, Yasmin's about to leave the house. Okay, Yasmin's about to be here in the States, going to college. I don't think it's going to be all that important to her. I just don't see this relationship working out though. And just in general, like even beyond any of this, I don't get what the end game is here for Stanbury. Maybe this is her midlife crisis and she doesn't know how to get out of it. Look, I don't know. I don't know. So Talene, we get to see with Talene. Talene's dog, Coco, passed away. And she says that she reached out to the group, and the only people that reached back out to her in regards to it was Stanbury, Lisa, and Ayan. I'm surprised Sara didn't reach out to her. But she says that Brooks didn't reach out to her. Brooks did go to social media and post a text message that she did respond to Talene. So Talene, what's that about? You lying to us? Why would you lie to us? I'm trying to understand. Like now I'm looking at you with the side eye. Not Brooks having the text receipts. Okay. She says she also reached out in regards to Adam's birthday party, but Brooks never responded to that. That's why I feel like there's more to the situation. I'm not trying to defend Brooks, but I kind of feel like there's probably a little bit more to the situation, and maybe this will play out during the reunion. We already know Brooks is going to be on Watch What Happens Live, I believe on Tuesday, Brooks. So I haven't been on Twitter, Brooks, so I don't know if you've been on Spaces spilling all the tea, but I can't wait for you to be on Watch What Happens Live because you're a mess. But let me just give you a heads up, and just in case you see this before they record it, don't drink too much. You know they're going to try and give you all the drinks, allegedly. Don't drink too much. Don't drink too much. Okay? I'm not saying that you have a problem, but I just don't want, like they've already tried to make you seem like the lush this season. Don't drink too much. So, Brooks hosts Adam's 11th birthday party. I like the scene because I forgot that so many of these women of Dubai have their boy moms. And so we have Sara bring Mackie, we have Lisa bring her 3 boys, and they're catching up and they're talking about what's been going on. I don't get Zoran and Brooks's relationship, but the producer asked her, like, is he helping you to pay? I don't understand this scenario, Brooks. I know you said in order for you to have full custody of Adam, you didn't take anything from Zoran, but I'm pretty sure Zoran is doing something. And if he's not, that is the issue that we should be talking about. Why isn't he doing something for Adam? Why isn't he paying for school? Or why isn't he paying for? Maybe it is. I can't remember season 1 because that was 2 years ago. But she's making it seem like she's paying for everything. All right. But if he's in Dubai, I don't see why he wouldn't pay for something. I mean, he might not be giving you money per se, but he should be paying for something. And if he's not, he better be paying for college or something. I don't get it. But she says she has a like an on again, off again, like relationship with Zoran. Zoran's there trying to flirt with the other moms. Brooks catches up with Sara and Lisa and everything that's been going on with her. Sara and Lisa have a conversation. Sara and Brooks have a conversation about they go off and they have a conversation about seeing Talene and Stanbury on IG. So we have this separate scene with Stanbury and Talene hanging out. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I know sometimes we see these scenes and they feel performative. I've really felt sidebar. Talene and her sister. I know we've said this before, and I know they said it at the who knows what episode. They really do sound alike. I'm like switching back and forth. I'm like, wait. But I have to say, seeing Stanbury and Talene hang out, and I know they hung out 2 nights before and they posted it on IG, it didn't feel performative. It didn't feel fake. It felt real. And it seemed like they were having a good time. I was a little uncomfortable when Stanbury was getting in bed with Ralphie. I, I don't know. Something felt weird about that. But you guys will let me know. I'm not a heterosexual married person. So is that what y'all doing? But they look like they really do enjoy each other. And Stanbury says she likes Talene because Talene has her own mind in regards to the whole Brooks situation. And Talene says, I'm not going to Brooks's son's party. Stanbury says, her boys were away, so she wasn't going anyway. And then Sara and Brooks in their separate scene, they're talking about, this newfound friendship. And then they're talking about let it burn and all this other good stuff. I don't know if I'm that invested in Talene and Brooks's fighting. I've said this before. I don't really care. I want them to make up. I want to see them have a good time in season 3. I do. I don't like this. I don't care enough about that fighting. I don't know what it is. I'm just not. I was probably more invested in them being friends. I immediately we're only on episode 6 and you are broken off of 10-year friendship. But Talene's probably thinking, yeah, she did that. I didn't do that. I was willing to be friendly with all the other ladies and be friends with my first friend here in Dubai. I think Brooks miscalculated. I think she definitely miscalculated. Do I think Talene? I think no matter what, if anyone was, you guys are saying the same thing about Ayan and her friendship with Stanbury. You're like, oh my gosh, blah, 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 blah. I feel like anyone that tries to be friends with Stanbury, you're all going to be like, oh, they're just trying to suck up to Stanbury or trying to, leave their friend behind. I don't know. I feel like Brooks was doing a little too much. I do feel like Brooks was doing a little too much in regards to her defense of Talene towards Stanbury. But we shall see. I'm excited about this reunion. I'm sure they're going to be filming the reunion very soon, aren't you guys? Look. They checking all their stories and see, wait, are they all in New York? Because that's the thing with them. It's a little easier to kind of pinpoint because they have to come here in order to film. That'd be amazing if they could film it in Dubai, but there's so many restrictions in Dubai, so it's best that they come to New York. It's just for the best. It's just for the best. But I have to say, I'm enjoying these last couple of episodes. I'm enjoying the mix of culture. I'm enjoying some of the fabulosity that we're getting. I'm enjoying Seba. I'm still enjoying her. The little bit that we're getting of her. I wouldn't mind getting a little bit more of her personal story. I know she's a friend of, but I need a little bit more from Seba. I want to know a little bit more. Are you guys missing Nina? I'm kind of, not that I'm missing Nina. I'm missing... I want to see the home. I know Stanbury's giving us the home, but I wanted to see Nina's home. Because Stanbury's home was impressive. But I feel like Nina's home was going to be even more impressive. Sidebar, when they were doing Adam's birthday party, the ladies were talking about the fabulosity of all these kids' parties in Dubai. Lisa's talking about she's already planning a big party at this that big whatever you want to call it. I forgot what it's called, but you know what she referenced. And then Sara talked about, I went to this 2-year-old's birthday party and he was gifted a Rolls Royce. Y'all really doing too much over there in Dubai. A little too much for my taste. But anyways, before my light runs out, I'm gonna go, guys. But I appreciate you taking time out of your Thursday to be here for our Real Housewives of Dubai recap. Do us a favor, like the video. Do us a favor, subscribe to the Kempire podcast. And if you're in Nashville or Atlanta, come to our show tonight in Nashville or our show tomorrow in Atlanta. Tickets are still available at KempireAfterDarkLive.com/Nashville. Nashville. KempireAfterDarkLive.com/ATL. More information will be available in the description. Thank you to our King's Guards. Thank you to our channel members. To become a member, head on over to TheKempire.com/join. And of course, thank you to our subscribers and those of you watching in the bushes. We see you playing. Thank you all for being here. I will see you all in the next one. Have a great rest of your week. I will see whatever our next recap will be. Probably won't be till the weekend. Again, if you're the Kempire After Dark shows aren't all going to be available. We're still working on getting the New York City show available for you guys, but that will be available for members first. So become a member today of the YouTube channel. I will post audio of some of the shows, so stay tuned for that. That will be coming soon. Guys, have a great rest of your Thursday. Bye.